Have you ever paused to consider the true cost of a gift? Not its price tag, its emotional value? Gifts. They're wrapped in pretty paper, tied with a bow, and often filled with good intentions. They can serve as a symbol of affection, generosity, and attentiveness. A token of appreciation, a birthday surprise, a Christmas present, or a simple, "I saw this and thought of you" moment. These are gestures that warm hearts and build bonds. But what if the giver's intentions are not as pure as the snow-white wrapping paper? Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. We're delving into the intriguing world of narcissistic men whose love language revolves around receiving gifts. Yes, you heard it right. Not giving, but receiving. A world where gifts are not just tokens of love, but a currency of control. In this world, the allure of gifts is strong. They are shiny baubles that distract and dazzle, creating a glittering facade that masks the not-so-pretty truth. They're like a magician's trick, a sleight of hand that diverts our attention from what's really going on. Gifts from a narcissist might come with strings attached, strings that can be pulled to manipulate and control. They're more than just material items. They're a strategy, a game, a way to assert dominance. The gift is not an expression of love, but a tool in the narcissist's toolbox. The allure of these gifts is powerful, and it's easy to get caught up in the sparkle and shine. But beneath the surface, there's a deeper dynamic at play. It's a dynamic that's not about genuine emotional connection, but about material gain and power. And this is where we need to tread carefully. Because while gifts can certainly be expressions of love, they can also be weapons of manipulation. So we must ask ourselves, are these gifts truly tokens of affection, or are they veiled attempts to control and dominate? Are they genuine expressions of love, or are they part of a larger game of deception? So, gifts can be expressions of love, but could they also be weapons of manipulation? Let's delve into the world of materialism and authenticity. How do they intersect in the language of love? Imagine a woman named Jane. She's in a relationship with a man who seems to adore her. He showers her with gifts, and she reciprocates, believing this is his love language. But as time goes on, she begins to question, is this love language about the gifts themselves, or is it about something deeper? You see, materialism and authenticity can often clash, especially in the complex dynamics of a relationship with a narcissistic individual. In Jane's case, her partner's insistence on receiving gifts might not reflect a genuine emotional connection. It could instead mask a more profound desire for material gain. Materialism, after all, is an affinity for wealth and material possessions. It's a focus on the tangible, the physical, the outwardly impressive. Authenticity, on the other hand, is about being genuine, about valuing the intangible, the emotional, the connections that bind us together. It's about the feelings that a gift can evoke, not the gift itself. Now, let's look back at Jane. She starts noticing that her partner's joy seems more tied to the price tag of the gift than the thought behind it. His interest in the gifts seems less about their shared memories and more about their monetary value. The shine of the new watch, the brand of the designer shirt, the model of the latest gadget, these seem to matter more to him than the love and thoughtfulness that Jane puts into choosing these gifts. This is where Jane begins to see the stark difference between materialism and authenticity in their relationship. She realizes that her partner's love language might not be about the gifts themselves, but about the status and wealth they represent. In Jane's case, the gifts were not symbols of love, but tokens of control and materialism. Her story serves as a reminder that in the language of love, it's not the material gifts that count, but the authenticity and genuine emotional connection behind them. So the next time you find yourself questioning the motives behind the gifts you receive, remember Jane's story. Look beyond the price tag and ask yourself, is this a gift of love, or is it a gift of deception? Now, let's consider the emotional cost of these gifts. What price do women pay in these relationships? Enter Sarah, a woman who found herself entangled in the intricate web of a narcissistic relationship. For Sarah, gifts were not tokens of affection. Instead, they were the chains that bound her to a relationship, steeped in emotional manipulation. At first, Sarah reveled in the shower of presents. They appeared to be heartfelt expressions of love. However, as time wore on, she began to realize that these gifts were far from the tokens of affection she had initially perceived them to be. Instead, they were an unspoken contract, an exchange of material possessions for emotional control. Each gift came with a price a price that Sarah had to pay in emotional currency. The more she received, the more indebted she felt, the more control her partner assumed. She found herself trapped in a cycle of guilt and obligation. The gifts became a burden, a constant reminder of the emotional debt she was accumulating. And herein lies the true cost of these gifts. They are not free. They are not given out of love, but rather they are tools of manipulation, wielded with precision by the narcissist. They are designed to ensnare, to create a sense of obligation, to manipulate emotions and control behavior. In Sarah's case, the price she paid was not just emotional. It was her sense of self, her independence, her joy. She found herself losing her identity, becoming a mere extension of her narcissistic partner. The gifts, once symbols of love and affection, became a chain, binding her to a relationship that was emotionally draining. As we delve deeper into the world of narcissistic relationships, it is vital to remember that not all gifts are given with love. Some come with a hefty price tag, one that can cost far more than the price on the tag. For Sarah, the gifts became a chain, binding her to a relationship that was emotionally draining. Can we distinguish genuine generosity from narcissistic manipulation? What are the signs to watch out for? A question that many of us have pondered upon. Let's delve into the red flags that can help us decode this complex dynamic. A consistent pattern is the first red flag. Are the gifts given only when there's something to be gained? Does a pricey necklace suddenly appear when he wants you to attend a work event? Or a designer handbag when he's seeking forgiveness for a mistake? When gifts are used as currency for favors or forgiveness, it's a clear sign of manipulation rather than genuine affection. The second red flag is the emotional strings attached to these gifts. Observe if the gifts are followed by heightened expectations or control over your behavior. For instance, does a romantic getaway gift come with a caveat that you let him make all the decisions? Or does a beautiful bracelet feel like a golden handcuff, restricting your freedom or dictating your actions? If gifts become tools to control your emotions or choices, it's a glaring sign of narcissistic manipulation. The third red flag is the lack of consideration for your personal preferences. A narcissist often gives gifts that serve his image or agenda, rather than reflecting your tastes or interests. The grandeur of the gift overshadows its relevance to you. If you find yourself receiving extravagant gifts that don't align with your personality or style, it might be time to question the motives behind these gestures. Lastly, if you feel a sense of obligation or indebtedness with each gift, it's a definite red flag. Genuine gifts should bring joy, not a sense of burden or unease. If each gift feels like a debt to be repaid, it's indicative of a power dynamic that's far from healthy. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards regaining control over one's emotional well-being. Remember, gifts should be expressions of love and care, not tools for manipulation or control. By recognizing these red flags, you can navigate relationships with more confidence and self-assuredness. Now that we've recognized the red flags, how can women assert their independence and worth beyond material exchanges? This is a question that strikes at the heart of empowerment. To navigate these complex dynamics, it's crucial to first understand that self-worth is not measured in material possessions. It's defined by your character, your accomplishments, and the love you bring to the world. And while it's natural to enjoy receiving gifts, they should never be the barometer of your worth or the depth of your relationships. Empowerment begins with self-awareness. Recognize the patterns of manipulation and remember that no gift can compensate for a lack of respect or authentic emotional connection. If you find yourself in a situation where gifts are used as tokens of control, it's time to assert your independence. Be brave and communicate your feelings. Open dialogue can be a powerful tool. If a relationship feels unbalanced, voice your concerns. You deserve to be heard and understood. It's okay to establish boundaries and make clear that your worth is not negotiable. Practice self-care. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Nourish your body, mind, and soul. Pursue your passions, invest in your personal growth, and surround yourself with positivity. Building a strong sense of self will foster resilience against the manipulative tactics of a narcissist. And remember, you are not alone. Seek support from friends, family, or professional counselors. Sharing your experiences can bring solace and strength. There's a whole community out there ready to stand with you. Finally, redefine your love language. Love is not about material exchanges. It's about mutual respect, understanding, and emotional connection. Seek relationships that enrich your life and align with your values. Remember, your worth is not tied to the gifts you receive. It's rooted in your strength, resilience, and capacity for love. And that, dear listeners, is a gift that no one can take away from you. It's yours to cherish forever.